Hey, it's ODB, the Lincoln Addict. I know I haven't been able to record a lot of videos lately just because of a project I'm working on at home, but I did want to go ahead and let you guys know that I'm going to go through this Salesman pocket price list for the 1963 Lincoln Continental accessories. Fairly rare. If you've seen this, please comment. Also, I had shared a photo from this, and someone had mentioned they thought they knew who the actress was or the model. If you happen to know, let me know. I went back and watched an episode of a TV show that they thought she was from, and it didn't look like that person. So I'm always curious. We can see here a 63 Lincoln Continental with a driver and the lady in the vehicle. If you like what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, please leave a comment, even an emoji. It definitely helps the channel, even if it's just a thumbs up emoji. And then also don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. The 63 Lincoln Continental was delivered fully equipped with many features not found on lesser luxury cars. A little dig there at some other cars. They go on to basically say there are a few, for your convenience, additional items that are described in this book. This is a very cool image I like because you get a distinctive look at the 63 grill, which is very distinctive. And of course you've got, as they did in their marketing or kind of press photos, if you will, for the press kits, they would always have the license plate signify the year. The first one is speed control. And what I like about this book, again, it's very hard to find any images of these cars brand new. And you can imagine, these are the first cars off the assembly line, right? So this here on the left is talking about the license plate beautifully integrates here. I have one of those. It's not new, but I do have an old school one there. So when you're looking at this, you see speed control to the right. Of course, when you open it, you're going to have one option here, and then here is the speed control. I haven't gotten to do a podcast lately, but I'll start talking about the interior differences. And of course, we know in 62 and of course here in 63, we don't have the hidden AC vents. And then the speed control does change over the course of time, but very kind of rare accessory, I would say. You'll see them sometimes, although they're not typically working. This is an image that I posted, automatic headlight dimmer, and someone said that they thought this actress was from, I think it was an Alfred Hitchcock episode. I went back and watched it. It didn't look like the lady, but with the expression here, it's kind of hard to tell. But for those that don't know, someone did ask, that Autronic eye, I think is the proper pronunciation, is the automatic headlight dimmer, and I believe it was the same technology that GM utilized. But essentially, if you ever see that on the dash, whether it's working or not, that's what it was. So if you were coming with oncoming traffic or headed into oncoming traffic, it would automatically dim the headlights. Pretty awesome technology for back then. If you happen to know who designed that, I think someone told me one time GM did, but I never looked into that. Here's FM reception and distortion-free, and musical programs have concert hall quality. So that is the push-button AM, FM dual range. I haven't talked a lot about the radios, but basically if you had FM back then, you were the stuff because it was rare. Two-way citizen band radio. It's funny, I just was coming home talking to an old friend that was a trucker, and we were talking about CB radios. Maybe that's what made me think to take this out. Now, I did post this image here. Believe it or not, this was something you could add. I think it's very rare that you would ever see someone do that. I just couldn't imagine someone that was, buying one of these cars back then, them having the want or the need for a CB radio. But maybe there were. If you ever rode in one that had one, let me know. I don't think I've ever seen it. This is pretty cool. I do have one of these as well. This is a fuel tank locking cap, just as you would expect. You typically don't really hear of this much, even with the higher gas prices. But what they basically talk about here is prevents theft, of course, with the quick transfer pump, or contamination of gasoline supply. So back in the day, I always heard of people that, pouring stuff in someone's, gas tank and stuff like that. Not sure how, if that was, I'm sure it was done over the course of time. I don't know how often, but I do have one of those as well. Mine does look different. I think they were a little bit different each year. And you could see there, you would have a key. You see her reflection right here. You got that distinctive 63 where the deck lid was raised a little bit for better luggage storage, if you will. This is one that I posted a similar video from the 64 accessory book. And this, believe it or not, is seat belts. Hold yourself and your passengers more securely in the seats. These 2-inch strong nylon webbed safety seat belts are secured to the floor of your leaky Continental. Believe it or not, it just was a different era. If you grew up in this era or own an old school car, a lot of them just didn't even have seat belts then. This is something you'll typically see as an accessory with several different OEMs, but this is the disposable basket. Black plastic aluminum trimmed basket can be conveniently located on the floor, and just what you would expect it to be. Here we have individual contour, not seats, aka bucket seats, but these are individual contour floor mats. These are pretty rare, I would say. I think most of them were pretty thrashed. I have an original one in the car that I'm standing in front of, and there are, I think, repops made designed to help protect the floor and rear floor areas from slush, salt, dirt, dust. I couldn't imagine, someone spending $6,500 plus on a car like this and driving it in the horrible conditions up north and things like that. But they do mention people would potentially do that, right? We know that they did. This is a cool one, door edge guards. So let me know what you think of these. Some people love them. I would pan over to my 65 that has them, but it's kind of messy in here. Some people absolutely hate these. They say it takes away the lines of the car. So there's great debate on those, but this was an option. Of course, this was still around. I don't know that you could really get this stuff for current cars. A lot of the current cars, they don't really ding the doors, but you'd imagine back in the day driving these big cars, everybody had bigger cars, if you will, to a certain extent. And this prevents paint repairs and, nuisance type situations. Guards will add an extra touch of gleaming style. Do you concur? And we're gonna wrap this up here. A little bit shorter of a video, which is not easy for me. Flexible driveway markers. So this is one that until I owned this, I had never seen before. Pretty cool. I've seen hazard type stuff that was offered by, Ford Rotunda, Ford products. If you broke down and you could put the little triangle deals. But this says protect yourself and your car from dangerous spots. Outline driveways, trees, lawns, and buildings with these 3-inch two-sided reflectors. Ironically enough, my parents didn't have these, but they had white posts at their house. Their house was built in the 40s. They moved there in 79. And they had these reflectors like this, and they were red. And it really helped because they don't have street lights on their road. And as a kid, I always remember you could see with the lights, whether they flash the high beams, boom, you would see that, and it helped determine where the driveways were. And then here is a very, very cool picture. Again, hard to find this stuff. Brand new photos of these cars. Of course, the dealer literature. This is nothing different, but it's very cool to get a glimpse into the mid-century modern, just a different era. You would imagine these cars, in the summer, late summer, midsummer, starting to ramp up production. So this was probably, summer of, August, September of 62 that these photos would have been taken to hurry up and turn and burn, if you will. Now, the funny thing is, it is called the Salesman Pocket Price List. And I know you're probably thinking, just like I was, hey, where are the prices? Well, the prices were to be listed here, written in. And, they could potentially start saying, hey, would you like to, add this, this, and this? And then, boom, you've got installation time. So that would, let's say somebody goes, yeah, I'd like to add these 2 or 3 things. They could say, well, bring it back on such and such day. It's going to take about 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. Let me know what you think. Have you ever seen this? Thank you for the support. Please note that once I kind of get this big project that I'm working on completed, I will be doing a lot more content for the channel, more listing reviews, more episodes, so much in store. Lincoln Addict podcast and Lincoln Addict YouTube channel. Thank you for all the support, everyone. Stay on the rise.